We're on our way to our next work camping job for the winter, and we are really excited.
We finished our 8-ish week season in Minnesota, and this was our 3rd year there, but it was the first year that Matt was driving semi for the beet harvest, which was really interesting.
Yeah, I started out on the grain side, which is soybeans and field corn, but due to weather, we got behind with the sugar beets, so they switched everybody over to sugar beets, and it was a lot of fun actually. I generally don't drive for the beet side because it's a night shift. And I prefer to be on the grain side on days.
Yeah, so what's interesting about this gig, it's a short-term gig. You can make a ton of money in the short period of time that you're there. And I think there's kind of an idea that if you're driving a semi-truck that you have to have a CDL. In Minnesota, we've learned you do not have to have a CDL. So that kind of opens the playing field. So if this is something that you've thought would be fun to do, you know, if you have a list of like work camping things, like we worked with a guy this year. He was like an inspiration, I think.
Yep.
His whole work camping experience has been things that sound fun. And he said he was here this year because it just sounds fun to drive a semi. So what's cool about this is you can make a ton of money.
Now, I can't speak for every farm in Minnesota, but the one I worked for, you could work a ton of hours. And you also had the opportunity to pre-arrange like 12-hour days with them. If you didn't want to work more than that, you didn't have to. But they did want you to work that out ahead of time. I took advantage of it, and I worked as many hours as I could, and we walked away with a good amount of money. So the potential is there. Now, what I was doing personally was mostly driving the semi from the field to the elevator or to the grain bins. And then I also helped out again, like we said, on the beet harvest, so I was able to take the beets from the field to the piling station. So it was a great experience. Now, you don't just have to drive a truck to work for the farm. We had tractor drivers, grain cart drivers. There were different opportunities to do different jobs, not just truck driving.
So when we left Minnesota, we spent our first night boondocking in a parking lot in Nebraska at a Cabela's.
Yep, thank you, Cabela's. We really appreciate it.
We do. And got up the next morning early because we were so excited to cross the state line that we have never crossed before.
Yep, we headed into Colorado, and that was really cool.
So my favorite part about work camping is when you finish a job and you get to spend a few weeks between jobs exploring. And for me, I was so excited to cross that Colorado line. It just felt so adventurous and so exciting.
Yeah, we've wanted to head to Colorado for a long time and just weren't able to due to the jobs we were taking, but we were able to this time.
Yeah, to stand at the state line and take those pictures and just like be like, oh my goodness, we're actually here. That's, I don't know, so fun.
So we made our way through eastern Colorado over to Golden, which was just west of Denver, and we loved Golden. We didn't spend a ton of time there, but the few times we drove through, just such a picturesque, beautiful little town, right on the edge of the Rocky Mountains, just nestled right in there. We just loved it. We got to stay there for a few days. We went to Estes Park, the Rocky Mountain National Park. We drove a scenic byway on the way back. We saw 2 moose.
That was so cool.
Yep, 2 moose crossed right in front of us there on the road. It was just a wonderful time in Colorado. So while staying in Golden, we visited the Rocky Mountain National Park, as we said, and that was just a great experience. Such a beautiful place to go visit. A lot of the roads were closed due to the weather conditions. That is the problem when you're traveling from the north to the south this time of year. So you just make the best of it that you can. A lot of the roads you could at least get up to the scenic overlooks before they were closed, which was really nice. So we took advantage of that.
Yeah, we had absolutely beautiful weather. We were so blessed and so grateful. We just kept thanking God for the beauty that we got to see, because now, at the time of filming this, every place we went is completely covered in snow. So the timing of this could not have been more perfect.
So we left Golden and made our way over the Rocky Mountains and into Utah.
Can we just talk about pulling through the Rocky Mountains for a second? because
Our truck did great.
our truck did do great, but the amount of time that I spent like this, not looking, because the steep, what do you call them?
Downgrades.
Downgrades. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, every time she saw a runaway truck sign, it freaked her out.
I literally had to look away. I am such a mess when we're going down. I can handle the up all day long, but yeah. Anyway, so
We went to Utah and we got to go to
Canyonlands National Park, Dead Horse Point State Park, which was so beautiful. If you are debating on is $20 worth it to go there, go there. That was so beautiful. And Arches National Park. We used Moab as our base camp. And the cool part, another cool thing about work camping is we're traveling in shoulder season. So shoulder season means the high season for the tourist areas has ended. So they're between seasons, shoulder season. And in doing that, we were able to stay at a Sun Outdoors for 30% off. So it was better than any rate I could have gotten on any discount website. And it was so fun to be able to stay at such a nice place and use that as our base camp.
Yeah, and looking out from our rig, you just were looking at, basically it was like looking at Arches. It was just
The Red Rock.
The Red Rock, it was just beautiful.
Yeah, you can watch our Facebook or the shorts on here for our reels that we'll be putting out with that content so that you can see the beauty of what we got to see. One of the best investments we've made has been the $80 America the Beautiful National Park Pass. It's been so fun to be able to, on this trip especially, be able to use that park pass at so many places. So Canyonlands was absolutely beautiful. It was, a couple of the lookouts there were just breathtaking. Like I could not believe my eyes.
Yep.
And watching you go to the edge of the cliffs was also breathtaking.
I'm always safe.
He's always safe, but he's always ready to give me a heart attack. I'm safe about 3 to 4 feet back, and he's always on the edge. But actually, one of the things that I was looking most forward to that has been like a total dream in my heart has been to do night sky photography. So while we were in Minnesota, I was able to upgrade my phone, which actually gave me night mode, and I was able to do that at Canyonlands, and it was such an incredible experience. We'll show some pictures here. Arches National Park, I'll admit, I wasn't super excited, super looking forward to. Just because it's a national park, we're of the mindset, like, you don't have to hit every national park. That's not our goal. That's not what we're doing. But we were there, and of course there are certain things within Arches that looked pretty. Well, I was blown away at the beauty of Arches. Park Avenue, that walk, I wouldn't even call it a hike, that walk was so pretty. And what was the other one?
Windows.
Oh yeah, Windows was so good.
Yep, that was really cool. And the Balancing Rock, I think it was called.
Balance Rock.
Balance Rock, that was pretty neat. And we ran into a guy out there painting.
I took his picture from like way far back, and then I wanted to walk up to him and just say like, hey, we took your picture. They're painting art, so they're not getting pictures taken
True.
of them doing what they're best at,
Yep.
and that's art. Just that picture of
Yep.
them painting that scene. So
Yeah, so we walked up and told him about it and sent him the pictures. He was really cool, very nice guy.
we'll drop his link below actually, because he is a very talented artist. But the coolest part is he was in a band, and he just said the stress of everything, he was just done with all of it. So he bought a van for like $2,000. He lives in this van, literally live in the van by the river, boondocks. So his expenses are like nothing, and he's just painting his way across the country. It's just so cool.
Awesome story.
Yeah. So we'll put his link below.
So we made our way from the Moab area down to Hurricane, Utah, and stayed at a really nice state park. It was called Quail Creek State Park, not to be confused with Quail Creek RV Park. Very similar names, so make sure you go to the state park. Beautiful, very well kept. There's a lake right behind it with some mountains. Just beautiful. We really enjoyed it there.
So we used that as our base camp for Zion National Park. He went in first and hiked Angel's Landing, and I cheered him on from home. And then he came back and got me. But we ended up going back a second day because the first day we just went in and rode the shuttle, which that's so interesting about Zion, how it's such a beautiful park, but you're just riding a shuttle through the park and getting off at the different points. I guess I'll admit to being a little disappointed in that system because it's so pretty.
Yeah, you can drive a large portion of Zion, but if you want to go to some of the main areas like Angel's Landing and the Lodge and
The different trailheads for hikes.
the different trailheads for hikes,
Yeah.
most of them, or some of them, you have to take the shuttle and there's no vehicles allowed in there. You can ride bikes, but if you do ride bikes, you have to yield to the shuttle buses.
Yeah. So we went back a second day, rode the shuttle again just to see it because it's so pretty. And then we also did a little hike. It wasn't anything major.
Yeah, the hike up Angel's Landing was just breathtaking. Very beautiful. It's all uphill, don't get me wrong. So, you know, your heart is pounding and you're breathing hard, but it was just absolutely beautiful. And once you get up there, the view down the canyons, both directions, is just awesome.
Well, let's talk about that because I didn't go because I'm terrified of heights. And that was not a place to try to work on my fear of heights. But how would you rate that as far as he was watching videos before?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I was more afraid of Angel's Landing after watching some YouTube videos than when I actually got there. I was not nervous at all prior to watching the YouTube videos. Then I watched them and got extremely nervous, thinking it was going to be my death. And then when I got there, it really, I don't want to make it sound like it was easy. It is all uphill and you are breathing hard, your heart's going.
But what about the knife edge like that you see on all the videos?
I think GoPro footage makes it look much worse than it is. If you are extremely afraid of heights, you're going to be scared. But you feel safe. I felt safe. I literally probably could have skipped across it.
Okay, he's like a mountain goat.
Yeah.
So you're not normal.
It was not anything like I thought it was going to be. Just to let you know that. So one thing that we wanted to talk about was our growth here on our channel. We've seen significant growth here, but we've seen amazing growth on Facebook and TikTok. And first of all, we want to say thank you. We really do appreciate that. Now, like anyone on social media, we want to grow our channels. And we've spent the majority of ours talking about work camping and full-time RV life. So that's our goal.
Our goal has always been to share with honesty and transparency about everything, about the financials, about the adjustments, about the emotions of it. I mean, I know the ladies out there, I get messages about how do you do this? How do you do that emotionally? So we care about those things and we wanted to help you and provide answers to those questions. We were not able to get answers to our questions, and I think that's the biggest thing that I'm excited that we can do.
Now, along with this growth, we've also experienced some opportunities to partner with some brands, which is nothing new on social media. But we want all of you to know that we truly care about you on every one of our platforms.
Yeah, it's so important for us to just address it up front because obviously we all know there is a small commission attached to when somebody promotes something. So it's just important for us to say it up front because the last thing we want is for you to ever think we're promoting for the money or for promoting for a sale. If we recommend something, it's only going to be because we use it or stand behind it. And we just want you to know that. I don't know why it's so important to say it up front, but it just is.
It means something to us to share that with you.
Yeah. One thing we're committed to do as we start partnering with brands is supporting small business as much as possible. Of course, we're still going to have our Amazon storefront and it's still going to have a lot of stuff in it because we've purchased a lot of stuff on Amazon. But if we can support someone else's dream by supporting small business, we're going to partner with them and do that. So we just want to thank you in advance. Anytime you purchase, if you use our links, we want to thank you because you are really, truly supporting us as well.
Well, we really do appreciate all of your support. It means the world to us, and we're really excited for 2024 and can't wait to bring you more work camping and RVing tips. Now don't forget you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as well. Now get out there and wander.
Oh, Mama.
That is awesome. Oh. He was. That's awesome.
Dear.
Hurt you?
He's gonna come get us.
Not the coyote. He's running away.